Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for your Chelsea versus Burnley match preview. Premier League, Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoff. Burnley haven't won a game away from home all season. Chelsea are in the form of our lives right now. We can't stop winning. We cannot stop keeping clean sheets. And that is the point where I want to shut up and just be like, you know what? We've got to be careful here. We've got to make sure that we don't get carried away. And I think the run that we've been on, we're about to have another international break. If we get the job done today and we keep seeing the level of performances that we've been seeing in recent weeks, then I really believe that everybody's going to have to start believing that Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea are one of, if not the favourites to win the Premier League this season. Before the game tonight, we've got United and City in a big one. And we kind of want Man United to win that one, don't we? Ollie stays in the job, we get more points on Manchester City, Pep Guardiola starts to throw his toys out the pram, and everybody is laughing. Before we get into my Chelsea-Burnley preview, I would love to ask you to subscribe to the George Benson Football Channel if you haven't already done so. And if we can go for 2,000 likes before kickoff today, then I'll be a very happy man. And I think Chelsea will get the job done. It makes absolutely no difference if you like the video or not with the Chelsea result, but you know, YouTube's my job. You've got to try and put these little caveats in wherever you possibly can. In midweek, Chelsea played against Malmo. Yesterday, I made a video talking about Christian Pulisic. A lot of people, as I expected, didn't watch the video and simply looked at the thumbnail and the title and thought, Benson's given up on Pulisic. He don't know ball. He doesn't understand how much of a baller Christian Pulisic is. Couldn't be further from the truth. Pulisic is in the squad today. As for team news, no Lukaku, no Werner, no Mateo Kovacic, and Marcus Alonso, unfortunately, picked up an injury in the final minute of the game in Sweden on Tuesday night. However, Ben Chilwell has been in scintillating Premier League form, fully expect him to come back into the team. Going to try and keep this one as short and sweet as possible today for you lot so that you can get on with your Saturday and enjoy yourselves. 6 Things We Learn is going to be out tomorrow morning, Sunday morning UK time. Got commitments tonight that I can't avoid, so the video isn't going to come out straight after the game, so be prepared for that. It's going to be out tomorrow morning, but we've got an international break, so there isn't going to be any 6 Things for 2 weeks, so you might as well enjoy it with your morning coffee, your morning croissant, your orange juice, whatever you choose to eat on a Sunday morning. But without any further ado, Chelsea should be winning this game, and the lineup that I've picked is the one that I feel will give us the best chance of doing so. Burnley are a very difficult side to face. Last week, they won 3-1 against Brentford, that a lot of people are quite surprised about. Brentford have been great this season, and I think last week was Brentford's coming back down to earth game. And for Burnley, Sean Dyche, we always know that he does enough to keep Burnley in the Premier League, but they always start very slow. And I'm just hoping that that victory against Brentford last week isn't the catalyst for the kind of Burnley that can frustrate so many opponents, be it at Turf Moor or away from home as well. Chelsea have often been good in this fixture, and we begin with the goalkeeper, starting off with Edouard Mendy. Mr. Mendy, Mr. Clean Sheet, Mr. Can Do No Wrong right now at Chelsea Football Club. I think a lot of the reason why the defence is so good, even in games where Mendy doesn't have a lot to do, is the confidence that every player is bleeding into one another right now. Everything that Chelsea are doing is in a cohesive manner, be it from the keeper. We're not seeing any more of these silly Mendy slip-ups that we might have seen, not frequently, but sometimes when he first signed, there were moments, remember Man United away, where we're like, this geezer, is he okay? Is he feeling all right? Now, none of that happens. Everything is regimented. Everything is solidified in terms of what the team needs to do. And Edouard Mendy has absolutely all the confidence of me and every other Chelsea fan and football fan right now in the world who strongly consider Edouard Mendy to be up there as one of the best goalkeepers. We move into the back three. Azpilicueta played in Malmo on Tuesday night. Don't want to bash the guy, but I think he did look a little bit rusty. Reece James has been in incredible form, and I think that Reece will be back in at wing-back today. So, my back three, I've not put Azpi in there. I think Trevor Chalobah just signed a new 5-year contract at the club. He's going to play. I think Thiago Silva, he's played a lot of games recently. Christensen is going to do the job in the middle with Tony Rudiger on the left-hand side of that back three. The luxury Chelsea have right now is that it doesn't matter who plays and who doesn't play. Every single player is giving confidence to the fans. Every player is giving confidence to one another. And I believe that Thomas Tuchel believes in every single member of the squad. even if it's players that he didn't expect to feature. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, listen to the praise that Thomas Tuchel's given that guy this week. Ross Barkley as well. He's being called upon to come in, have minutes here and there too. And I think right now, the reason why Chelsea are building this incredibly strong momentum train is because no matter who is fielded, we have a system, we have a way of playing, and the statistics absolutely back this up. We're scoring goals for fun in the Premier League, even against teams in the past where we would have struggled. You know, you go to Newcastle away, you get incredibly frustrated for the opening 45 minutes, you can't find a breakthrough. That game in the past would have had a 1-0 loss written all over it. Chelsea obliterated them in the second half last week, and I'm thinking today against Burnley, we may end up seeing something similar. We move into the wingbacks, Reece James and Ben Chilwell, arguably the two best fullback/wingback combination in world football right now. There is nobody in the world contributing in an attacking sense as these guys, and Chelsea's defensive record speaks for itself. Reece James is a sensational footballer. I think he's already world class. He's managed to develop that defensive side of his game where in the past he would look a bit shaky defensively, positionally. I wouldn't say it was his strongest point, but now the way that Thomas Tuchel has got these wing-backs playing where they almost at times when Chelsea are attacking look like inverted forwards. It's incredible how we managed to manage allowing James, Chilwell to advance whilst never neglecting their defensive duties. And even with that, you've got Chalobah, you've got Rudiger on that right and left-hand side with Christensen often going through the middle or Silva going through the middle too. The balance in this Chelsea team right now fills me with so much confidence. I don't think I've ever watched a Chelsea team who looks so competent in possession and looks so organised when out of possession to regain possession. In terms of possession stats right now, Chelsea absolutely at the top in the Champions League, and we're dominating games in the Premier League too, even against teams that you wouldn't expect us to dominate possession against. We move into a central midfield two of N'Golo Kante back, didn't travel to Malmo, had individual training at Cobham, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I thought Ruben was incredible in that game against Malmo. I gave him the first box in the 6 Things We Learned video. The confidence that this guy has, you know, he's spoken in interviews saying how psychologically he's removed the trauma that came with that injury and that maybe reluctance to show his physical nature that we saw last season at Fulham. Under Thomas Tuchel, Champions League winning team with the man management skills that Thomas Tuchel has, I believe it's made all of the difference in a psychological sense to enable Ruben Loftus-Cheek to give his absolute best again, to be that physical presence in the midfield and to have that uncanny ability at times to win the ball back in a defensive area just inside Chelsea's half, carry it forward towards the opposition penalty area. Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been incredible, and I think Kante, if he's fit and ready, Thomas Tuchel says that he is, or he didn't say that he wasn't, is probably the best thing to say. I think this midfield too, with no Kovacic, Jorginho's played a lot. I think this one against Burnley, where we're going to have to be creative, we're going to have to try our absolute best to break down what is going to be an incredibly defensive Burnley side. They're going to stick walls and walls of players in front of their goalkeeper to try and deny Chelsea goal-scoring opportunities. And I think between Kante and Ruben, it is the best dynamic duo for Chelsea to go out and win this game. Moving in to my front three. Now, Hakim Ziyech scored the winner against Malmo in midweek, but since then, people have criticised me for my criticism. I bring it up all the time because I feel like I want to defend myself in this sense because I don't want people to start thinking about me as a guy who's going to try and become like an online catalyst to try and push players and agendas to get players out of the club. It's not the case. Christian Pulisic, Kai Havertz and Callum Hudson-ODOI. Callum Hudson-ODOI starting in that favoured left wing position. Kai Havertz through the middle. The goals aren't coming. The finishing's not been good in recent games, but he's getting into good positions. He's making good runs. And I think with Pulisic back in the side as well, Pulisic offers that dynamism where he can offer that natural width with the ability to cut inside, whether it is on the left where he's best or on the right-hand side. But Callum Hudson-ODOI has been playing so well on the left, I wouldn't swap those two over. But also, what we saw against Malmo was tactical changes in the second half that enabled Callum Hudson-ODOI and Hakim Ziyech to swap roles, and it resulted in a Chelsea goal. And I think the movement of Pulisic, Havertz and Callum Hudson-ODOI will be absolutely key and fundamental tonight for Chelsea, breaking down what I fully anticipate to be an incredibly resilient Burnley side. I think Pulisic being back if you didn't watch yesterday's video and you got a bit of time this morning, I'd definitely go and give it a watch, because the only reason I said it could be Pulisic's last chance at Chelsea is because of the amount of injuries he has and the lack of patience that Chelsea can probably afford to have with a player like Christian Pulisic, where, yes, people brought up the comparison with Iron Robben, who was incredibly injury prone. Chelsea sold him, and then he went on to have his best years at another club. I think right now, Pulisic is on that last chance because everybody else is doing so well, and when he's given the opportunity, which he duly deserves because of that unfathomable, unquestionable talent, he's got to deliver. And I just pray against the physical Burnley side, if he plays, there isn't another little injury that comes up again, because then I would seriously fear for his future in the Chelsea first team. Burnley, incredibly difficult side, even when they're not in form. Yes, we've had some big wins against them over the years. You remember going to Turf Moor? I was there. It was a rainy day, driving up to Burnley. And then in the evening, beautiful. Christian Pulisic got a hat-trick. Chelsea won the game 4-2. It was a cracker. Tonight, I think it will be relatively straightforward. I hope that Burnley don't test us too much and don't use too much of that momentum of last week's win. I'm going to go with Chelsea 2, Burnley 0. Comfortable victory, remaining at the top of the table. United and City, not all of them can win 3 points this weekend. Spurs have got a tricky one as well against Everton with Antonio Conte's first game in charge. It is an exciting weekend of Premier League football. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this match preview. If you did, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to GBFC if you are new around here and haven't already done so, and I'll catch you in 6 Things We Learned on Sunday morning for you lot. Come on, you Blues.